Good afternoon, Chicago. Thank you, everyone, for joining us here and for everyone who is joining online as well. We are very excited that you're all here right now. So we have a lot that we have to unpack. So you are the ones who drive passions among us, and you are the ones who are the trailblazers who encourage us to drive more and more innovations, to drive 3 releases in a year with everything that we have to unpack with the Salesforce innovation. It's interesting times with manufacturers because we are in this time where manufacturers are pushed really hard to transform and evolve with the ever-changing conditions. So we've had trade wars, we've had COVID, which created a lot of supply chain challenges. We've had issues with the higher interest rates and inflations due to the war conditions. And then there's going to be many more that are coming in. So manufacturers are always bracing themselves to be prepared and to quickly shift and evolve as the conditions occur. We are in this digital ecosystem where customer expectations have evolved and are changing faster than ever. They anticipate that they are given personalized experiences along with sustainable products. Employees are demanding a flexible work culture, and they also demand that they have opportunities to grow within their careers. Manufacturers are looking at the various digital technologies like Gen AI to really transform themselves and evolve and then be able to serve their customers. There are a lot of these new business models that are being looked at where customers are thinking about how do they convert from being a product-centric organization model to a service-oriented business model. And then as customers are looking at these various digital ecosystems that are driving these top manufacturing imperatives, such as the customer expectations and the transformations that are happening through the end-to-end customer journey, there's more and more agility that is expected by leveraging all the data that exists. So I came from a manufacturing world, and data is not new to manufacturers. However, the important element is how do you unlock the right data at the right time for the right persona? And then how do you leverage the entire automation and AI that's available to be able to unlock and harness the power of the data? There's these new service-based revenue models where you can actually start leveraging a lot of your connected asset data and start driving more and more servitization models, which would then unlock a lot more avenues for manufacturers. The same kind of pressure that manufacturers are facing to reevaluate their approaches of how they create values to their customers. So instead of selling individual products, how do they sell the customer-specific solutions, if you will? How are they able to evolve and create new revenue models, which also has a mix of not only just selling the products, hardwares, equipments, but also the software services as well? As they are continuing to explore and driving to see these new service-based revenue models, the manufacturers are also starting to see how the world is evolving and changing, and we are in this new world of the intelligent and integrated customer operations. But it is not going to be easy. In order to drive that, they need a solid, robust, powerful platform which is scalable, flexible, and which has all the acceleration that's needed. And that's where Salesforce, as the #1 AI CRM, drive towards offering you all the various capabilities that are needed. And then we on the industry side have been striving towards offering more and more manufacturing specific capabilities, which are purpose-built, tailored to fit to your needs. And this is where I wanted to share with you that we have the Salesforce Manufacturing Cloud, which is hosted on the #1 AI CRM for manufacturers, which unifies and brings the entire book of the business together. It not only helps you drive and reimagine your intelligent omnichannel experiences, but it also brings in the partner ecosystem, empower them, drive more and more self-service, all the way from the customer operations through the service experiences. It also helps you unlock the whole potential of your back office ERPs by integrating the manufacturing CRM with your ERPs and then be able to leverage the AI data and drive that end-to-end automation that's needed from the front office, middle office, all the way to the back office. So from day one, our vision has been simple and very relevant: to be the number one digital customer engagement platform. How do we harness the power of the data and then be able to automate the entire front office along with the back office operations? How do we leverage AI and then drive more and more customer intelligent experiences that are needed? Now, if you think about it, all this time, Salesforce has been focused in creating the customer 360 experiences. Now, if you think about how you bring in the entire power of the products, the pricing data, the pricing performance, the entire install base, your assets, your asset service history, and then the asset telemetry data, and then bring in all of this data together and truly unlock the potential that's needed. As a matter of fact, manufacturers generate double as much as data as any other industry does. So that's very powerful, but that also gives a lot of opportunities and challenges. And in order to do that, this is where you need platforms like Salesforce Data Cloud, our hyperscale platform that's built on Salesforce. It really connects, federates, and harmonizes the data in the entire ecosystem. It truly creates the single source of truth for not only your customer base, but for your entire assets and the entire history of managing the asset lifecycle. This is the best part, that imagine now you have all of this data unified, available with you, and then you have the power of AI to unlock and really drive AI-driven insights predominantly for the customer-facing roles, such as sales, service, marketing. You also have the ability to enrich the data to be able to plug and play with extensibility and scalability with any of your third-party platforms. Salesforce's trusted AI platform, Einstein one, it's very much tailored built for manufacturers, keeping their evolution and their transformational needs in mind. And it is also focused on driving more and more trust, security, and governance that's actually needed to drive AI-driven insights. As a foundation, we have the Hyperforce, we have tailor-made large language models, we have the entire Einstein trust layer, and the various application builders, the applications that come along with it, which are all focused on driving the robust, secure use cases for you. I've been part of a manufacturing organization in my past life, and I totally understand how important it is to have the data integrity and security as the foundation of it. So with that, I would like to introduce one of our core solutions, which is the Transform the Service Experience. So it's truly looking at how do you reimagine the entire end-to-end omni-channel service experience. It is focused on how do you convert your service functions from being a cost center to a profit center. It's opening up an entire new avenue of driving asset-centric service, leveraging a lot of data that's otherwise is not foreseen. And this is where, ladies and gentlemen, I'm happy to share that we are introducing Connected Asset Services, one of our new offerings, starting this spring. So it is the digital twin representation of the asset, where you could actually start looking at what are all the various asset components, the features, the various software versions that are maintained across the journey of the asset lifecycle. Not only that, it also enables and opens up option to have remote actionability, especially during the situations of an emergency or a critical failure. It now opens up the avenue to be able to manage your entire asset performance from all the events that are generated from these various sensors, how you can drive the various condition monitors and drive towards the predictive maintenance aspect of it. Finally, we have specifically tailored built event orchestration framework, which really helps you make specific actions which are actually driven based on the business use cases, such as sending an SMS, sending an email. Do I create a priority case? Or do I actually create a work order and send a technician out? So business users can define what kind of actions that could be taken with a very flexible and scalable framework and architecture. Some of our other offerings from the manufacturing service perspective, which already exists and which have been GA'd, is that end-to-end asset lifecycle console, where you could start looking at what are all the various asset hierarchy elements. You could visualize what are all the various elements that are actually part of it, and then be able to take actions on top of it. We have the end-to-end warranty lifecycle management that has been introduced, which not only helps you manage all of your product warranty terms in terms of what's covered and what's not covered, but it also helps you seamlessly drive self-service for raising the claims, looking at the status, and tracking the entire claim approval process. From an automation perspective, it is totally powered by the business rules engine, which helps you automate hundreds and thousands of complex rules, which otherwise are done through a complete manual effort. When we really bring everything together from a business value perspective and where we are in terms of unlocking the potential of data, AI, and CRM, just to summarize it, it is the shift from selling products to selling the customer solutions. It's the revenue mix of not only selling the products, the hardwares, the equipments, but also selling the software services. And then how do you continue to monetize, leverage all this data that exists, and create more and more servitization models? So this is how you can reimagine what AI can do for your business. So with that, I would like to invite Eric Liu, our Senior Account Solution Engineer. Eric, take it away.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you, Nanda. Let's start at the beating heart of data generation in an industry with connected assets. This view is a digital representation, a twin, of an asset's critical information, such as its attributes, its service history, and even third-party telemetry data. Bringing this together enables actionable controls, which means faster analysis of an asset's status and performance, and faster process execution in situations where seconds count, like in a breakdown or an emergency. Just below, configurable engagement alerts highlight critical events on the asset, allowing agents to quickly prioritize and execute work in a single view. Now, these critical events can be more easily diagnosed with its service history in a consolidated and filtered timeline view on the right, allowing agents to quickly understand and view what led up to the event and identify the culprit. Now, because this is all built on Salesforce, components are completely configurable, including integrated data like third-party telematics, which means you get to see exactly what your business needs. Now, let's see this in an example with this elevator. Uh-oh. It looks like the temperature of a component has registered above 100 degrees for an extended period of time and needs to be addressed immediately. Well, my friend Nanda just talked about the event orchestration framework, and let's see how we can use that to deal with this. Without writing a single line of code, we can determine what should happen when something overheats with a new action. With this innovation, we have the flexibility to define both the context and orchestration plan for any type of event with declarative tools, which means our automation adapts as quickly as our business does. Now, we'll start by selecting our triggering parameters. Then, we'll define conditions, like fault codes, so we can filter to the right events. And finally, business rules will power any type of action that we want, from a notification to a user, to kicking off a workflow, to sending a text message, any standard action on that platform. And that's it. The event orchestration framework has helped enable proactive service at scale in a way that's flexible and extensible, so it supports your business as it grows and changes. Now, what we've just seen is how we're able to unlock data and drive automated, timely, relevant actions to bring more value for our customers. Now, next, let's see how we can drive a deeper, richer view of both the customer and the asset data. We'll start with the Asset Service Console, where we get an end-to-end lifecycle view of all of our assets. Front and center, we have auto-generated alerts, so we can address issues in real time to provide the highest levels of customer service. Below, the milestone component provides a clean visualization to track the major events from the day that it was assembled, to the service and needs today, even to the service preventive maintenance schedule in the future. Now, as we scroll down, we can even see a detailed timeline of all the work orders tied to this asset. This way, support agents and technicians, wherever they are, have this critical information at their fingertips as they're executing work. Now, let's take a look at the asset hierarchy, which uses the Actionable Relationships Center, which maps out all the relationships in an intuitive way. We can even see the warranty information tied to this asset, and as the name suggests, take action directly from this screen. Now, as we dig into warranties a little deeper, we'll see that the claim item helps adjudicators make well-informed decisions on whether or not a claim should be approved or declined. We even have help from Einstein predictions with the warranty claim score, which helps us understand the chances of a claim being approved and the data supporting this. Now, bringing all this data together and augmenting it with AI really supercharges productivity, but we can take it one step further and completely eliminate repetitive actions altogether with the business rules engine. In this example here, we're actually allowing the auto approval of warranty claims as long as the claim amount is below a certain threshold, which is relatively low compared to those in the product family. This allows your service agents to focus on the larger complex claims that are more impactful to your business. Now, last and certainly not least is the power of analytics to help us understand the trends in our service business, like if there's an uptick in claims and the dealers that are submitting it. We can even toggle filters so we can understand which parts of our business need our attention based on items like the age and the claim amount. Lastly, we can see the distribution of these claims. These can be based on geography, can be based on stage, and based on time. This allows us to make the strategic decisions to help support both our agents and our customers. These are the manufacturing cloud innovations that bring data, AI, and CRM together to make the Salesforce platform even more powerful for the industry. Thank you for your time. Back to you, Nanda.
Thank you, Eric. That was truly inspiring and encouraging to see all the service innovations coming to action. You can see a lot more innovations from our partners and ISV partners as well, both SI and ISV partners who continue to innovate and extend the functionality beyond what is offered from the native solutions. And then if anyone is interested, please do take a look at it from the manufacturing learning org, where we've actually unpacked a lot of this functionality where instead of you having a plain sandbox, you now have the ability to have lot more functionality which is pre-built and be able to wet your hands. We've also built a lot of functionality on the partner learning org as well for some of the partners um, in the group here, so you can actually take a look at it. So with that, hopefully we were able to educate you, motivate you, and inspire you with all the innovations that are coming in as part of our manufacturing cloud. Thank you very much for joining us. For some of you who are going to be here for the rest of the day, do take a look at the sessions that we have on the theater one, which is on the hallway. So we have the transform service experience at 2:30, and we have the modernized commercial ops at 4 p.m. For any one of you interested to earn a pass, Dreamforce pass, please do leave comments. It's very valuable, and we do take comments very seriously. So with that, thank you very much. Thank you all for attending the session.